Hello, my friend. Welcome to Awakening Dharma Tales. Are you feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or weighed down by everything around you? If so, I invite you to stay with me. Take a deep breath and listen as I share some simple yet powerful tips to help you find peace and balance in the midst of life's chaos. In today's episode, the less you care, the happier you get. Simple tips that change your life. We'll explore ways to bring more clarity, calm, and mindfulness into your day. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of the inspiring stories and wisdom we'll share next.
Have you ever felt completely drained? Not because of your job, your responsibilities, or the chaos of daily life, but simply because you care too much about what others think, about situations you can't control, about things that don't even care about you in return? It's exhausting, isn't it? And here's the truth. Real peace doesn't come from trying to control everything around you. It comes from letting go, from stepping out of that endless chase for approval and simply being present. Imagine for a moment how liberating it would feel to stop measuring yourself by other people's expectations. That's the insight we're exploring today. Your peace begins where your need for approval ends. In this video, we'll dive into timeless wisdom inspired by Buddhist practices, lessons on detachment, mindfulness, and freedom that can transform how you experience life. We'll talk about why letting go is not giving up, how observing your thoughts can calm your mind, and why freedom often starts with caring less about what doesn't matter. So, if you've ever replayed a conversation in your head 100 times, lost sleep over someone's opinion, or felt the weight of expectations you never asked for, this is for you. By the end of this video, you'll see that peace isn't something you chase. It's something you uncover when you stop trying so hard to control the world and start mastering the one thing you truly can: yourself. Have you ever noticed how a simple comment, a look, or even a passing opinion can stick with you for hours or even days? Why does a tiny moment have the power to trigger so much frustration, anger, or anxiety inside us? The truth is, it's rarely about the other person. It's about the story we've built in our own minds, the expectations we've clung to, and the attachments that run our emotional world. Think of your mind like a mirror. When it's clear, it reflects reality exactly as it is. But every judgment, every worry about what someone thinks smudges that mirror. Suddenly, you're not seeing life clearly. You're seeing it through your own fears and assumptions. Buddhist teachings remind us, you will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. That anger, that inner chaos, isn't the world attacking you. It's your mind holding on to a version of how the world should behave, how people should treat you, how life should unfold. So, what if the secret to peace isn't controlling the world, but learning to pause? Mindfulness isn't about being passive. It's about creating a tiny space between the stimulus and your response. Imagine standing in that space, taking a breath, observing the emotion rise and fall without clinging to it. That 1 second, just one, is where freedom begins. Here's a practical thought. Next time someone triggers you, ask yourself, which part of me is reacting? The need to be right, to be liked, to feel safe? You'll often discover the storm isn't outside, it's inside. And once you notice it, you can choose not to feed it. Peace doesn't come from changing others. It comes from learning to see clearly and respond consciously. That clarity is the foundation for every choice, every relationship, and every moment of calm in your life.
Have you ever felt like life is running you
instead of the other way around? Like you're constantly reacting, busy, anxious, but somehow never really free? The truth is, most of us are controlled by invisible strings we can't even see. Fear, the need for approval, the urge to control, perfectionism. They act like a puppet master, quietly pulling at our thoughts, emotions, and decisions. Buddha once said, "It is not the chains on your feet that hold you, but the ones around your mind." Think about that. You might feel trapped, not because of what's happening outside, but because of the patterns running silently inside your head. Consider some everyday examples. How often do you check your phone not because you need to, but out of fear of missing out? How often do you say yes to things you don't want to do just to avoid disappointing someone? How many times have you posted, performed, or curated your life on social media simply to feel validated? None of this is inherently bad, but when these invisible strings are running your life, they quietly steal your energy, your peace, and your presence. Here's a powerful insight. Most suffering doesn't come from events themselves. It comes from the meaning we attach to them. You weren't hurt because someone ignored you. You were hurt because you expected attention. You weren't overwhelmed because of a workload. You were overwhelmed because you felt the need to prove your worth. The first step to freedom is awareness. Name your traps. Say to yourself, this is my approval trap. This is my overthinking loop. The moment you see them clearly, their grip begins to loosen. And here's where emotional minimalism comes in. Stop feeding the thoughts that drain you. Stop engaging with the stories that keep you anxious or reactive. Not every worry deserves your energy. Not every expectation deserves your time. By detaching from these invisible strings, you reclaim your mind, your focus, and your freedom. Ask yourself today, which invisible strings am I still dancing to? Which patterns have quietly been stealing my peace? Naming them is the first step. Letting them go is the path. And when you do, you realize something remarkable. Life is no longer controlling you. You are the one holding the strings. Have you ever noticed how tightly we hold on to approval, to outcomes, to expectations? Like we're clenching a fist around life itself. And yet, the harder we grip, the less we actually feel peace. It's almost paradoxical, but Buddhist teachings remind us of this truth. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. When we cling, we block ourselves from receiving what life naturally offers: clarity, breath, space, and yes, peace. Think about a clenched fist. What can it hold? Very little, and certainly nothing delicate or nourishing. Now imagine opening that hand slowly. Suddenly, there's room to breathe, to see clearly, to feel fully without carrying the weight of every expectation. That's the essence of letting go. It's not giving up, it's creating space for what actually matters. And here's a key insight. Peace isn't found in trying to fix other people or control every situation. It's found in releasing the need to control them. You don't have to carry every disappointment, every miscommunication, or every outcome on your shoulders. The moment you loosen your grip, life becomes less of a struggle and more of a flow. You begin to see situations as they are, rather than as you wish they'd be.
Ask yourself today, what am I holding on to that doesn't belong to me? What expectations am I gripping so tightly that they prevent me from feeling free? Try this small exercise. Take a deep breath and visualize opening your hands. Let go, even just a little, and notice the space it creates inside you. That space is where peace begins, where clarity blooms, and where freedom lives. The less you clutch, the more life can flow into you. Have you ever felt like your thoughts are running your life? Like every worry, every what if, every negative story in your head demands attention and steals your peace? Here's the radical truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them,
the silent witness observing the storm. Think about the sky and clouds. The clouds pass, sometimes dark, sometimes light, but the sky remains vast, calm, and unchanged. Your thoughts are just like those clouds. They drift in, sometimes heavy, sometimes fleeting, but you are the sky, always present, always still. The moment you step back and watch your thoughts instead of getting swept away by them, a profound shift happens. Overthinking loses its power because you're no longer feeding it. Anxiety doesn't control you because you aren't identifying as it. Meditation is one of the simplest ways to practice this. You don't have to stop thinking, you just observe. Notice a thought, label it, and let it pass without judgment. Even just a few minutes a day trains your mind to pause, to notice the difference between the storm and the sky, between the story and the awareness that witnesses it. Detachment in this context doesn't mean coldness or indifference. It means caring wisely, knowing what deserves your energy and what doesn't. It's choosing to invest attention in what truly matters and letting the rest float by. Imagine your life if you only engaged with thoughts, people, and situations that actually uplift you. Imagine the calm, clarity, and freedom that would grow when the noise no longer dictates your mood. Ask yourself today, which clouds am I clinging to unnecessarily? Which thoughts am I treating as reality when they're just passing visitors? Step back, watch, breathe, let them pass. And in that space, you'll discover the sky has always been there, calm, vast, and infinitely free. Have you ever felt exhausted at the end of the day, not because you worked too hard, but because you were running in circles, doing too many things that didn't truly matter? That's a common trap in our modern lives. Buddha once said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." And the same applies to action. Quality always outweighs quantity. The truth is, true mastery isn't about doing everything, it's about doing less, but doing it with intention and full presence. Ask yourself today, what are the 3 things that actually matter in your life? Emotionally, spiritually, practically. Not 10, not 20, just 3. Focus your energy there and let everything else fade into the background. When you start narrowing your focus, something amazing happens. Your mind clears, your purpose sharpens, and the noise of the world no longer steals your peace. Doing less is not laziness, it's discipline. It's the courage to say no to distractions, to meaningless obligations, and to energy-draining interactions, so you can say yes to what truly nourishes your soul.
Think of your life like a bow and arrow. Every task, every responsibility pulls the string tighter. If you fire arrows in every direction, none of them hit the target. But if you aim carefully, focusing on fewer, essential actions, each arrow lands with precision and impact. That's the power of doing less, but better. So today, make a conscious choice. Simplify, prioritize, drop what doesn't serve your peace, and give your full attention to what does. Notice how your energy changes, how your clarity grows, and how your life begins to feel lighter, more meaningful, and truly yours. Remember, it's not about being busy. It's about being present, intentional, and fully alive in what matters most. Have you ever noticed how a single text or comment can send your mind spiraling? Maybe someone sends a short reply and immediately you think, they must be mad at me, or I did something wrong. That's inner drama at work. And here's the key insight. Most suffering doesn't come from life itself, it comes from the stories we create around it. Think about it. How many times have you turned a simple situation into an emotional storm, imagining every possible outcome, casting yourself as the victim, the villain, or the fixer? We often mistake these narratives for reality, and the harder we cling to them, the more exhausted and overwhelmed we feel. The Buddhist approach offers a powerful alternative. When chaos arises in your mind, pause. Practice stillness. Ask yourself, is this real, or is this just a story I'm telling myself? You don't have to respond to every thought. You don't have to fix every imagined problem. Instead, become the silent witness. Watch the storm pass without jumping in. This simple shift, observing instead of reacting, changes everything. Over time, the storm loses its power because you're no longer feeding it with attention. You're not denying reality. You're choosing to release the narrative that amplifies it. Peace begins not when life becomes perfect, but when you stop needing it to be perfect. So today, try this. The next time you feel triggered, step back, breathe, observe your thoughts as clouds drifting across the sky. Notice the story you're telling yourself and then gently let it go. With practice, you'll find that life doesn't have to be drama-filled for you to feel calm. Your peace is waiting in the space between stimulus and reaction. Remember, inner drama is optional. You can choose to step out of the narrative, reclaim your calm, and experience life with clarity, freedom, and presence. When life hurts, our first instinct is almost always the same. Close off, pull the walls up, guard our heart, protect ourselves. And while this seems natural, there's a hidden cost. Every time we shut down, pain gets stuck inside us, accumulating, replaying, and quietly shaping how we see the world. The more we close, the more we suffer. True healing, though, comes from doing the opposite. It comes from staying open, even when it hurts. It's not easy. No one said it would be. But openness is the gateway to resilience. And here's the interesting part. Resilience isn't about being hard or tough. It's about being soft. Soft enough to feel, soft enough to allow emotions to flow, soft enough to stay present even when the mind screams, protect yourself.
Think of it like water. When water meets a rock, it doesn't fight it, it flows around it. Over time, it smooths the rough edges instead of breaking itself. That's how openness works in our emotional lives. By staying emotionally present, we prevent pain from getting trapped in our nervous system, and we stop old hurts from controlling new moments. Courage, in this sense, is not charging into danger blindly. It's the quiet bravery of feeling what comes up and letting it pass without shutting down. Next time you feel triggered or hurt, ask yourself, can I stay open right now? Can I allow this feeling without closing off? Even just a few moments of emotional presence can start to dissolve the weight of accumulated pain. Openness isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the strength to be fully human, to face life without armor, and to transform suffering into clarity, connection, and freedom. The heart that stays open, even in pain, is the heart that truly heals. Have you ever noticed how exhausting it can feel to carry around invisible weights? That's exactly what expectations do. They act like ropes tied to heavy stones, each one representing how we think life should be. The expectation of recognition, the expectation of kindness, the expectation that things will go our way. They slowly drain our energy without us even realizing it. Buddha taught us that attachment is the root of suffering. And here's the truth. The pain we often feel doesn't come from life itself. It comes from the gap between what we expect and what actually happens. You might get angry or disappointed, not because someone hurt you, but because they didn't act the way you thought they would. Every unmet expectation is like a rope tugging at your freedom.
Imagine holding on to a rope tied to a massive stone labeled "How Life Should Be." Every pull, every twist adds weight. But the moment you release it, just let go of trying to control outcomes, approval, or how others behave, you feel a sense of space and relief you didn't think was possible. You're free to experience life as it is, not as you imagined it should be. Letting go doesn't mean giving up or becoming indifferent. It means choosing peace over struggle. It's a conscious act of saying, I am not defined by how life meets my expectations. I am defined by how I respond to it. And that shift, from holding tight to releasing, changes everything. Suddenly, life feels lighter, clearer, and more alive. So, today ask yourself, what ropes am I still holding on to? Which expectations are draining my energy? And can I release just one right now to reclaim a little more freedom? That small act of letting go is the first step toward a calmer, more peaceful life. Have you ever felt that the more you try to hold on to something or someone, the more it slips away? That's the paradox of attachment. Non-attachment isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about clarity, about seeing things as they are without letting fear or need control your heart.
Think of love without clinging. True connection isn't about possession or control, it's about presence. It's being fully with someone, appreciating them for who they are without needing to shape them into your idea of perfect. A beautiful metaphor comes from water in your hands. Cup it gently and it stays. Grasp it tightly and it slips through your fingers. This is what freedom feels like. Being able to enjoy the moment fully without demanding permanence. You can love deeply, care sincerely, and still remain unbound. It's about showing up, being present, and letting life flow without tying it to outcomes. In practical terms, try this. Notice where you are holding too tightly. Relationships, expectations, even personal achievements. And ask yourself, can I hold this more lightly? Can I appreciate it without gripping it? Often, just softening your hold releases more joy than force ever could. Non-attachment allows you to experience life more richly. You stop trying to control everything and instead focus on what matters most: presence, connection, and awareness. By practicing this, you'll discover a profound peace, the kind that doesn't rely on circumstances, and a love that doesn't need to own. So today, reflect. What in your life are you holding too tightly? And what might happen if, just for a moment, you let go? The answer might surprise you, and it could be the first step toward true freedom. Have you ever felt completely drained, even after a successful day? Often, it's not the work itself, it's the constant performance. We wear social masks, act in ways we think will earn approval, and chase applause that's fleeting. The problem is, we've forgotten that we're the authors of our own lives, not just actors playing someone else's script. Think about it. How much of your energy is spent performing for others, shaping yourself to fit expectations, or seeking validation? It's exhausting, isn't it? And here's the truth. Worldly approval is temporary, like shadows passing across a wall. What lasts is authenticity, living in alignment with your true nature, even if it means stepping off the stage of constant performance. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that when we reduce performing, we reconnect with ourselves. We stop bending to every social demand, every expectation, and instead listen to the quiet voice of our own heart. This isn't selfishness, it's a form of freedom. It's reclaiming your energy, your peace, and your presence in the world. Ask yourself today, am I living for applause
or am I living for truth? Imagine the relief of dropping the act, letting go of the need to impress, and just being, fully, genuinely, simply you. When you do that, the energy that used to drain you returns. Life feels lighter. Your decisions become clearer, and your relationships, both with yourself and others, become more real, more meaningful. Stop performing for the world. Start living for your truth. It's one of the simplest yet most profound steps toward lasting peace, freedom, and a life that feels authentically yours.
Have you noticed how scattered your mind feels at the end of a long day? Social media pings, endless notifications, constant streams of news. It's like your attention is being pulled in 100 directions at once. And here's the truth. Attention is like light. Wherever you shine it, life grows. What you focus on expands, shapes your thoughts, and ultimately shapes who you become. Buddha said it simply, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. Every moment you spend ruminating, worrying, or chasing distractions is a moment you give away your power. And in a world full of constant noise, it's easy to lose sight of what really matters. That's why a mental detox is essential. Unfollow, unsubscribe, silence the alerts that don't serve your peace. Create space to be present. Reclaiming your attention isn't about doing more, it's about being aware of where your mind goes and choosing it intentionally. It's a daily practice like training a muscle. When you consistently bring your focus back to the present, to the tasks, people, and thoughts that truly matter, you begin to shape your reality instead of letting it shape you. Ask yourself, where am I pouring my attention today? Is it helping me grow or draining me? The answer can change everything. Direct your focus like a beam of light. Let it illuminate what matters, and watch how your energy, clarity, and sense of freedom begin to multiply. Your attention is your most precious resource. Protect it, guide it, and you reclaim your power to live intentionally, fully, and authentically.
Remember, floating doesn't mean drifting aimlessly. It means moving with life consciously, letting go of the illusion that you need to control every wave. True mastery comes from surrender, not struggle. Take a moment to reflect. How much of your suffering comes not from life itself, but from your attachments, your expectations, and the endless overthinking that fills your mind? Most of the pain we feel isn't caused by the events around us. It's caused by how tightly we cling to them. True freedom and peace begin the moment you start observing instead of reacting. Imagine watching your thoughts and emotions as if they were clouds drifting across the sky. There's no need to chase or grab them. Letting go of control and unrealistic expectations is not weakness, it's wisdom. It creates space to breathe, clarity to see what truly matters, and the ability to focus your energy on the things that really enrich your life. Reclaim your attention. Choose where to place your mental energy, because whatever you focus on grows. Stop pouring yourself into distractions or the need for approval, and instead direct your awareness toward presence, gratitude, and meaningful action. As Zen wisdom reminds us, when you let go of who you are, you become who you're meant to be. True power doesn't come from holding tighter, it comes from letting go wisely, from releasing what you cannot control, from freeing yourself from the stories and dramas you've been carrying. So ask yourself, what could happen if today you let go a little more of judgment, of worry, of needing life to be perfect? What if freedom and peace were simply a choice away, waiting for you in the act of release? The path to a lighter, more fulfilled life isn't about adding more, it's about letting go.
Breathe, observe, let go, and watch how life unfolds in ways you never imagined.